Hello everyone and welcome for another edition of the Entertainment Roundup. I'm Jason87. Before I get started, I want to apologize if you hear the background noise in front of me. I'm doing this in front of a cafe. The place I am normally do this is actually doing a lot of work, a lot of inspections going on, and it's going to continue going on for another few weeks. So some of my videos and audio will be done either in the comfort of Starbucks. So I wanted to give everyone, if in case you hear the audio noise, I'll try to edit out some of that audio noise as much as possible as we go on. But there are some stories I want to touch on. And without further ado, let's get started with Jack Nicholson. Reports have already been surfacing, and it's actually been blown up a lot more as the days and hours continue to surface that Jack Nicholson is retiring from acting. This is not a stunner because the last film that I saw him in was The Departed, and that was 2010. It is now 2013, going to 2014, and there hasn't been any major roles he has been in since then. So it's been a pretty long gap between the actor in terms of starring roles. If he does retire, he had, in my opinion, a great run. He is 76 years old. He pretty much has had major roles, unforgettable roles, from The Joker to Terms of Endearment to Chinatown to The Shining to As Good as It Gets. He has a very long list resume, and for me, he's retiring right on top. He's not. There has never been a downside where you say, okay, he's finished, he's done. So hearing this news and hearing the buzz that's going on around the World Wide Web, it's no surprise because to a lot of people's eyes, he is still the man. He is still the guy you want to go to, especially when you want that kind of role that only requires Jack Nicholson's style, his sinister looks, his voice. Jack Nicholson is the person you always come to mind when it comes to these roles. He is, to me, a very good actor, one of the great actors, and in my opinion, one of the last ones who takes his craft very seriously. Ain't too many actors out there who does that. A lot of actors are pretty much there for a paycheck, but when you see Jack Nicholson, you know you're getting Jack Nicholson all the way. It's going to be a sad thing to see him leave from acting. He's going to be the second person who I admire a lot in Hollywood. The other actor, of course, is Gene Hackman, who has retired and hasn't been in a film and God knows how long. He is in his 80s, of course, and he felt it's just time for him to move on. Jack Nicholson is 76. He has to me, he's retiring at a good time. I think The Departed, which to me is his last film he has been in, pretty much solidifies just how good an actor he truly is. Again, this is something of a big thing. You're still going to see his face around, especially if it's a basketball game. You're definitely going to see him there. But in terms of his acting days, I think it's pretty much over. I think it's pretty much done. And listen, he has nothing left to prove. He has had a great run in Hollywood. Probably one of the better runs that I've seen in any actor that has in his craft. To me, if he's saying farewell, he's going out on top. Not too many actors can do that. Some of the actors stay too long and pick bad roles or the bad roles where it pretty much tarnishes their career, their resume. Jack Nicholson's resume is not tarnished. Jack Nicholson's resume is superb. He may have some films that many people wish he wasn't in, but to the majority, if you look at his list and you look at the films he's been in and has followed his career, you can safely say that he had his great choices in roles clearly outweighs the bad ones he had, which is not too many. I will leave a link to one of the articles here. You guys can check it out yourself. It's definitely worth looking at. But it is something that when I first heard about it, I was saying, wow, he's going to retire. But then again, I remember he hasn't been in a movie in a while. So if this is his official announcement, so be it. But it definitely, there's definitely something to be missed there. Another article which I have not yet touched upon said there's something about memory loss. This is a report, but again, who knows what the real deal is. One thing is certain: if he is gone, he's going out on top, and that's the important thing to really take note about. Jack Nicholson going out on top. Now, another story I want to be talking about is the Jay-Z Brooklyn Nets situation here. It's no secret that the reports was coming out that he was planning to sell part, most if not all of his share to the New Jersey Nets to another owner. That is not the thing that caught my attention. What caught my attention is who they want to take over his shares from. Jason Kidd has been mentioned, and Jason Kidd has been mentioned a lot in some other reports that he may be the new shareholder of the Brooklyn Nets. Now, according to YahooSports.com, the reporter said that they were told that Jason Kidd will take over Jay-Z's 0.067% of the team. That is 1/15% stake in the team for about $500,000. The sources also told the Yahoo that other owners want to give Jason Kidd part ownership of the team and urged Jay to sell his shares to him. We told that unlike Jay, the coach owner minority share in the team would not be seen as a conflict of interest. And that's a very important thing that I'm glad they actually brought out. The reason why Jay-Z has stepped aside a few months ago is because he has a vineyard going on, and it's a sports vineyard that, according to NBA rules, can be a conflict of interest, especially for what the NBA is to have in store for what they're doing in terms of merchandising, as well as the team itself in terms of their merchandising. So that conflict of interest pretty much prompted him to step aside and do his own thing. In fact, there was a couple of guys mentioned that will be taking part about that, not just in basketball, but in baseball and in football as well. So this is something that has been a major factor. As for Jay-Z staying as a team, there was reports that he still had that kind of ownership, but now it looks like that he's moving forward and pretty much relinquishing all ties with the team. Keep in mind, folks, he's leaving in good terms. There's no real big, disagreement between the team owners. The owners, as well as those who also have a stake in the team, have tremendous amount of respect for him. He was a big part in why the Nets are in Brooklyn right now. So there is no bad blood between them. But for what I've been getting and what I've been seeing lately, it looked like JC wants to go on his own without being tied into anything else. As for Jason Kidd itself, I am a little bit surprised about that, that they want him to take over the team if this is actually indeed the case. It also tells me two things. It tells me just how much respect the organization has for Jason Kidd. It also tells me that how much of a detachment that Jason Kidd have with this team. Now, keep in mind, he did play with his team before, had a great run with the New Jersey Nets, went to 2 NBA Finals. When they traded him away, the team really never recovered from that trade. I will safely say that was a mistake getting rid of Jason Kidd. And as a result, he did retire as a New York Knick, but once he retired, no sooner after he retired, it was announced that he was the head coach, which boggled my mind a little bit, but at the same time, I kind of wonder, yeah, this may work. It may actually happen. Granted, I'm not expecting him to have a big successful year, but I do expect the team to actually respond to him. He is their kind of coach. He is that kind of guy who knows the game in and out. But it does raise the question just how much of an attachment Jason Kidd really has to this team. There is definitely something there because out of all the teams he could have easily come back to, Dallas especially, he chose the Nets, and it's very evident as to why. There's definitely an attachment there, and the owners, from what I've been getting there, truly respect this guy. I mean, they really respect the guy. They respect him enough that they actually said, give him part ownership. Now, on the flip side, it definitely said that he's going to have more of a say in what goes on in the day-to-day operations. But also, on the unflip side, it also may cause a problem because you have a guy who pretty much is partial owner. And we all know that sometimes doesn't vote well when it comes to coaching teams or even playing with a team for that matter. So there is always going to be that pros and cons. And I'd like to hear what the sports fans have to think about this because it is definitely something that I have to say is something of an interesting news, especially in the sporting world, especially when basketball is just a few months away. Um, my initial feeling is if he gets it, I think they go into good hands. There's definitely won't be a conflict of interest, but I do have to be mindful when a coach or any player has partial ownership of something. Sometimes it doesn't pan out as well as one may think. So I hope the owners, as well as Jason Kidd, understand both sides of the coins and think this through before any final decision is made. But one thing is definitely certain: there's no doubt about it. From the reports I'm seeing, Jay-Z is pretty much on his way out in terms of. All right, continuing on. I was really much debating whether to talk about this story because I thought it was ridiculous from the get-go. It's involving the Video Music Awards, of course. MTV has heavily promoted in New York, and the talk of the town with Miley Cyrus and her performance, and how a lot of the so-called parents, watchdogs, are extremely angry at her because of her provocative dance has really became the topic of discussion within the last week and a half. Finally, this week, Miley Cyrus had broke her silence. I'm going to read it courtesy of CNN, but it says here that Miley Cyrus had a message for the haters. You're overthinking it, and you know what? I agree. I agree 100% they're overthinking it, but let me explain why, or I'll let the article explains why. The singer had broken her silence regarding the MTV Video Music Award performance that set tongue wiggling and some other parts shaking as folks tried to ignite her twaddling. Cyrus, in an interview featuring on the network site, said she doesn't pay attention to the negativity, and here's why. She said the whole time, me and Robin said the whole time, we know we're about to make history right now. Cyrus said in a clip provided to MTV. Cyrus' dance routine and provocative accent were the talk of the VMA, and the former Charleston is fully aware they have garnered her what most celeb covered, the public attention. In her opinion, in some people's opinion, Motley is sexual. Get over it, and which this is something a very key word that I'm gonna get to later on. She pointed out in a clip that once she did is nothing new, and this is what she said. How many times have we seen this play out in pop music? Cyrus asked. Madonna done it. Britney done it. Done it every VMA performance. Everyone that performs everyone that performs, that's what you're looking for. You're waiting to make history. She also goes on and says that the clip was reportedly recorded 3 days after the performance. That it's amazing how much buzz the whole thing has garnered. You were thinking about this more than I thought about it when I did it, Cyrus said. I didn't even think about it when I done it because that's just me. And that's the whole nutshell of what the interview has pretty much said. Now, before I go any further here, is that did I seen the MTV Video Music Award? No. Haven't seen the whole show. I did, however, seen the clip of what everybody has been talking about. That was the only thing I was paying attention to, that one clip with Miley Cyrus. Was it provocative? Yes. Was he going over the edge with what her performance is? Yes. But am I mad at her? Am I angry at her? Am I outraged at her for what she done? No. Why? Because the simple fact is what she explained. Most singers have done this. MTV has a reputation for stuff like this. This is nothing new. And the fact that you had parents, watchdogs, enraged that she would do something like this is a joke to me. You mean to tell me out of all these years that MTV has been in news and have generated some similar buzz from the kissing that Britney Spears and Madonna have done to other stuff in the past? You're telling me you're just now realizing that this video show, which by the way has a specific target audience, and none of them is between the ages of 5 to 14, you're now just realizing this is more of a demographic ages 16, 17 and up. That's on you guys. I'm sorry, that's not on Miley Cyrus. Also, this is something that I honestly believe there are a lot of people out there who still feel she needs to carry that Hannah Montana image, that she should show a better influence towards preteens and people who are still in their early teens. I got news for you. That particular character, Hannah Montana, or anything related to Disney, is gone. It's not coming back. In fact, she was trying to escape that when she was doing Hannah Montana. So the idea that you're gonna get that same character back is not gonna happen. I think that it's been proven a long time ago that she wanted to move away from that kind of image, and she has moved away from the image. And I think that the parents who want to keep her as this certain role model needs to move away from that. Leave it, let it go, because it's not going to come back. They tried this with Britney Spears. Every time Britney Spears made an album, they wanted to say something negative towards her. People who didn't even listen to Britney Spears albums said that she should have just be a better influence on children. They had a hard time grasping that this person is moving on from that image. And it seemed like that's what it's more about, because I find it very funny that no one else talks about anybody else who have done this, but when she does it, oh, it's a big problem. To me, it's not a big problem. MTV has done this, and unless MTV stops doing it, which you know it's not going to stop, because this is what generates the views, you may see something even more racy, more explicit from this award show next year. So to me, this has been blown way out of proportion, to the point where I just think it's an absolute joke that people are paying more attention to this than anything else. I think this is because it's Miley Cyrus. I think it's because people still think that she should be a role model towards young children, and I think that they need to accept the fact that she's not representing that demographic anymore. She's going for an older crowd. The fans who are following her growing up is going to still follow her, but she's also looking for that more older crowd, and that's something I think people need to just accept, period. I'll leave the link below. You guys can check it out yourself, but I am kind of curious of what you guys think about that. But to me, this is something that is that I am very much amazed. And I gotta tell you, for the Parents Watch Group, little message from you guys. This MTV has been around for how many years? If you now just realize that this is what goes on in the MTV Music Awards, and you obviously have not been paying attention, and you guys need to really remap how you monitor things on television, because to me, the fact that you are allowing children to see this, or any parent for that matter, forget about the Watch Group, if you're letting your kids ages 5 to 14, between that age group, watch this, thinking this is supposed to be on PC, you are obviously out of the loop. And to me, if you have a problem with what your kids seen at that age group, and even though you let them see it, that's on you, not on MTV, not on Miley Cyrus, not on any performer who performs on those award shows. This is a loosey-goose award show. MTV have never been a conservative award show where they follow a former type setting. This has always been like this, at least in my memory, and it probably will be that for a lot longer. If anything else, you're just giving MTV a reason to keep doing this because of the attention you have given Miley Cyrus. So congratulations for those who don't know how to be parents. That's just my opinion. You may disagree, you may actually hate what I said, but that's just how it is. So I think a lot of these parents, the people who want to be so-called parents watchdogs, children watchdogs, are doing it because they can't, or forcing anybody else to do it, to make rules and regulations, as well as try to put guidelines because they themselves can't do it in their own homes. That's just my opinion on that. But I'm going to move along to the next topic because I'm not going to stay too long on this one. Okay, so let's move on to some more entertainment politics, and let's talk about the CBS situation. As you all know, CBS is back on the air. No surprise there, and even CBS network is going as far as saying this was a major big victory because of reason that's followed. It gives them a huge up and up with their rivals, which is Comcast, ABC, which is owned by Disney, and basically they're pretty much happy they're back on. And of course, the executive who runs that network said that it's due to the fact they got great entertainment, great shows, and great quality. That may all be true, but in the end, I'm looking at the following things that's happening this week. NFL. There's no question that there's a lot of people who watch the NFL football. Even they acknowledge it about the NFL and how important that is. And having fans call Time Warner Cable to ask them why they're not watching their favorite football game is something that Time Warner Cable themselves know is going to be a huge problem. I didn't think this was going to last too long at all. I had no calls that this will be pretty much resolved if not no more than before week one even hits. Week one is starting today, which is on a Thursday, and to me, it didn't grasp me that CBS will stay blacked out or out of Time Warner for too much longer. And no doubt, after hearing the news this week that they was back, it's to me it tells a great tale of just how much both sides realize keeping them off the air, as far as CBS continue going forward asking for a lot more than what they was asking, was not a very good thing for both sides, especially when it comes to their football. I'm going to read a little article here, but the article is from Forbes magazine. I will leave a link to this. It says CBS victory over Time Warner Cable, which they are saying it is a victory for them, should also help network rivals. The article also says by getting a much better deal from Time Warner Cable to carry to the network, CBS Corp CEO Liz Moore not only enrich his shareholders but also those of rivals. Comcast, NBC, which is owned by Walt Disney, News Corp, which is the Fox network. In an exclusive interview with Trish Reagan on Bloomberg TV, the CEO of CS says that the deal, which Reagan reports, will increase the monthly retransmission fee paid by TWC from 50% per subscriber to $2. Let the broadcast keeps the rights to make deals with online distributors. More Moonvens said, there is no question the reason we're back on the air with TWC is because of the great content that CBS is providing, and at the top of the list is the great content is the NFL. That partly is right. Again, NFL is pretty much the main reason. NFL is, don't make no doubt about it, NFL season is coming. It is a big event. A lot of people have cleared their Sunday schedule to watch the NFL footballs on the weekend. There's a huge fan base for football. You don't even have to be a fan of the city. You will still watch the football game. You want to watch what's going on. It is an event that goes on for 16 weeks, and 16, 18 weeks the minimum. You have 16 games to watch of your favorite team, 16 games to watch of other teams, and to hear that your favorite team and other teams for that matter you can't watch because of this feud, it's simply not going to be accepted. It's not going to be accepted at all, and that's the thing that I think that everybody needs to take into consideration here. Yeah, they do have great content, don't make no mistake. In the last 10, 15 years, CBS has really have dominated in terms of quality shows. But make no mistake about it, NFL is just something of a must for a lot of people, and the last thing they want to hear is they can't have their football because of a money dispute going on from both sides. Football starts this week. I can't wait. And for those who are waiting for this, they can't wait. I know they're happy as hell that they can get to finally watch their Sunday night football or Sunday football, for that matter, on their CBS network without any other interruptions. Me, for once, I always said this before, in terms of football is concerned, You don't need cable. Turn off and on. Put your antenna on. You got your football there. But a lot of people do pay, and a lot of people who have responded to my video have mentioned this. That a lot of people did pay a great sum of money that includes CBS program. That's also showtimes and other things that CBS may own. So it wasn't just CBS. But for the most part, this is something that I felt that is nothing new. And this has happened before, and they use these networks, especially sports events, as bait. They use it as the bargaining chip. The NFL was definitely a bargaining chip, and the reason why I say it was a definite bargaining chip because when I seen all the commercials going back and forth about this, and CBS made it very clear. Time Warner does not want you to watch NFL, football, college football of any type, or even the tennis match. That was the big push. They wasn't pushing for any of their TV shows. They wasn't. Yeah, there was time where you saw the late night talk shows, but once the football season got started, once the college football season got started, that's all you saw. They was pushing it because they know a majority of the people who watch their fall lineup will be watching football. It's one of the highest rated shows that they got, and the last thing they want is to lose a good chunk of that fan base because of this dispute. So yeah, I'm happy they're back on the air. I'm happy they're able to make a deal. I'm actually happy that they ever got a better deal from Time Warner. But make no mistake about it, the NFL, along with a lot of other sports events that's coming up later in the fall, played a big role. I'll leave a link below so you guys can read it further. I'd like to hear your interesting feeling on this. But I'm moving on. Still got a lot more to tell. And let's get right to it. Let's return to sports a little bit. Let's return to sports because something's happening in Albany that it got me kind of scratching my head a little bit as to this whole teams should not be using Native American names. Particularly big due to the fact that a lot of the indigenous Native American tribes have been pretty much saying that is offensive towards them and their culture. This is no different. An American Indian tribe in upstate New York said Thursday it will launch a radio ad campaign pressing for Washington Redskins to shred a name often criticized as offensive. I'm going to try and say this as close as possible. The Onondaga Indian Nation said the first ad will run on radio stations in Washington before the team hosts the Philadelphia Eagles and its season opener Monday night in an ad. The Nation representative Ray Hobbetter said that the NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell should stand up to bigotry and denounce the racial slurs in the team's name. The team name, as you know, is named Redskins. Many of the tribes across the country consider that as a racist slur. The same thing that people, it's pretty much they feel is equal to the N-word that is used against blacks. We do not deserve to be called Redskins. The nation's leader said in an ad, we deserve to be treated as what we are, Americans. The radio ad said that Goodell had rightly been criticized this summer after the Eagles wide receiver was caught in a video making racial slurs against African Americans. The ad launches as Washington Redskins this year face a fresh barrage of criticism over their nickname, with a local leader and pundit calling for a name change. In May, 10 members of the Congress sent letters to the Redskins owner Dan Snyder and Goodell urging the team to change their name. Snyder has vowed to never change the name. The league spokesman Brian McCaffrey, in an email to the Associated Press, said that they respect that reasonable people may have a different view. The name from its origin have always intended to be positive and always been used by the team in a highly respectful manner, McCarthy wrote. There was no intimidation. There was no immediate response to the Redskins. The Tribe Nation been a vocal opponent of the Redskins nickname, be it for the NFL high school teams. The Tribes, which ran a casino and resort in central New York this year, gave $10,000 towards a New Jersey to an area high school that changed its nickname from Redskins to Hawkeyes. The nation said that first ad will run Sunday and Monday on several stations in Washington. Some of the ads will run on Washington during home games and in the city hosting the team where it is away. A spokesman for the nation will not say how much the campaign will cost beyond multiple thousands. Alright, this is something that has been a very sensitive topic for a long time. It is something that has sparked controversy for not only the major sports but from colleges to high school. It is something that has sparked a change in St. John's. St. John's University was nicknamed the Red Men, and it wasn't until I believe 94, 93 that the Red Men have changed their name to the Red Storm. A lot of people was angry about this. A lot of people thought that this was a rash to judgment. Other people have applauded the move, saying they didn't need to call a team that. So it's really always going to be a divisive thing about it. The Indians have been hit a lot with their name and logo. They actually have changed their logo a little bit to be less offensive, but there's still people calling for their name to be changed. The Braves have changed the image of their logo because it used to be a man with a smiling logo. It was not a very good logo to begin with, but it was something that many Indians have had a problem with. They actually changed it. Now they have the tomahawk thing there, and being that the fact it's called Braves, nothing else, it has not been too much of an issue. The Redskins logo has been a part of the team's tradition for years. A lot of people have gone attached to it, and this is something that the people have, the Native Americans have had a beef with. They believe it is offensive. They believe that it's a spit in the face towards them, and they had for quite some time now, more so now in the last 2 years than ever, was calling for that name to be changed. The owner is not going to do that. The owner felt that as part of the team, as part of their position, that is part of what that team is, and he feels that they're not being offensive at all. In fact, they have actually, for the most part, have tried to use the nickname as respect not only to the team but towards the Washington area as well towards the Native Americans. There have been Native Americans who have voiced their opinion on this. There have been some that went on television and talked about it. There also have been those who wasn't Native Americans, who pretend to be Native Americans, who spoke about it, that made this matter worse. This is something I have to say that you have to look at the situation from a Native American's perspective and why they are so bitter about the situation and the conditions they was forced to live in even to this day. So it's really something that I think that you really have to look at their point of view instead of, oh, this is a sports thing, it should not be a big deal. To them, it is a big deal. However, that is still, whether they change the name or not, it's still going to be clearly up for the owner, and I don't see the owner changing it anytime soon unless it costs him to lose a lot of money. That's the key word here. Money is going to pretty much dictate whether he should change it or not. Now, for those who have changed their name, who changed their logo, they have done it out of respect for Native Americans, and I got no problem with that. I think they have. I think they made it as a gesture, a friendly gesture. The Red Storms, formerly known as the Red Men, have done it. A lot of high schools have done it, even though a lot of people wasn't too happy they done it, but they have done it. And even some colleges, some low-level teams like double A's and triple A's, sports and hockey and in baseball, they have done it. So there has been some sports venues, some sports teams have done it out of respect for them. There are others who are not going to do it. So it really all depends. I don't see the Indians of Cleveland doing it anytime soon. I don't see the Braves are going to change their name anytime soon. I don't see the Blackhawks changing their name anytime soon. And I definitely don't see the Washington Redskins change their name anytime soon. Are they aware that there are people they're not happy about them using the name? Of course they are. They are aware. But are they also going to be aware that they need to represent the team in a way that's not going to be too that is like giving them the reason to keep bashing them because they're being offensive towards them and what they are. Yes, they are. I mean, to be honest with you, for most sports teams I've seen, they use the name with respect. I think the Braves, more than anything else, when I see the Tom Hop Chomp and them, rooting for the team, I don't see them mocking the Native Americans. I see them rooting for their team because they have a very strong passion, a very strong love for their baseball team. And the same thing with football team. There's a huge, strong base for Washington Redskins fans out there, and I do understand if their reaction if they decided to just change the name just for the sake of being PC. I don't think you should change the name to being PC. If you're going to change it, do it because you feel it's the right thing to do, and not because some politicians wrote letters suggesting you should change the name. That is it for Entertainment Roundup for this week. If always, if you guys have any comments that you'd like to have, please leave it in the comment section. I'd like to hear what your opinion on the matter. But until then, this is J77 saying take care, be safe. I'll talk to you soon.